can send money to anyone on the planet in seconds. No bank, no fees, nobody's permission needed. Now that sounds impossible because everything you know about money runs through some company sitting in the middle, taking a cut and able to freeze it whenever they want. But there's a system already moving trillions of dollars that works completely differently. And most people using it still can't explain how. The problem crypto was built to solve. To understand what cryptocurrency is, you first have to understand the problem it was designed to fix. Right now, when you send money to someone, whether that is paying a friend back, sending money overseas, or buying something online, a bank or a payment company sits in the middle of that transaction. They verify it, they approve it, they record it, and they charge you for the privilege that the system works. But it has some real problems. Banks can freeze your account, they can reverse transactions, they can charge high fees, especially for international transfers that can be hacked. And in some parts of the world, millions of people do not even have access to a bank account at all. In 2008, right in the middle of the financial crisis, when banks were failing and people were losing trust in the financial system, a person or a group of people using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a document describing a new kind of money, one that could not be controlled by any government or company, and one that ran on a network of computers spread all over the world. That was Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency. And it actually introduced an idea that changed finance forever. What is a blockchain? The simple version. Here's the core technology behind every cryptocurrency. It's called a blockchain. So imagine a notebook that records every single transaction ever made. Every time someone sends Bitcoin to someone else, it gets written in this notebook. Now imagine that instead of one notebook sitting in one place, like a bank's computer, there are millions of identical copies of that notebook spread across computers across all over the world. Every single copy updates at the same time. Whenever a new transaction happens, that is a blockchain. It's a shared record book that nobody owns and everybody can see. So who actually runs all those computers, right? That's probably the question that you have. And it's a great question. And this is where it gets really interesting. The computers that keep the blockchain running are operated by regular people all over the world. They are called miners or validators, depending on which cryptocurrency we're talking about. And they do this work in exchange for a reward, which is new cryptocurrency. For Bitcoin, the process is called mining. And here's how it works in simple terms. Every few minutes, a new batch of transactions needs to be added to the blockchain. To do that, computers have to solve a complicated math puzzle. The first computer to solve it gets to add the new batch of transactions and earn some Bitcoin as a reward. This process is called proof of work. It requires a lot of computing power and a lot of electricity. That is why you hear about Bitcoin mining using so much energy. Ethereum, the second biggest cryptocurrency, switched to a different system called proof of stake. Instead of solving math puzzles, people lock up some of their Ethereum as a kind of security deposit. They are randomly chosen to verify transactions and earn rewards. It uses dramatically less energy than Bitcoin mining, and both systems accomplish the same goal. They make sure transactions are legitimate and that nobody's cheating in the system without needing a bank or any central authority to do it. So what actually is cryptocurrency? A cryptocurrency is a digital currency that lives on a blockchain. It has no physical form. There are no coins you can hold in your hand. It exists purely as entries on a shared digital record. You own cryptocurrency by having a private key. A private key is basically a secret password, a long string of letters and numbers that proves you own the crypto at a specific address on the blockchain. If you have the private key, you can send the crypto. If you lose it, the crypto is gone forever. There's no customer service to call. There's no bank to help you recover it. That one is one of the most important things to know and to understand about crypto. So with that said, let's talk about the different types of crypto. There are thousands of cryptocurrencies in existence right now. Bitcoin is the original. It was the first cryptocurrency and it is still the biggest by far. Its total market value is over $1 trillion, which represents more than half of the entire crypto market. Bitcoin is primarily used as a store of value. Ethereum is the second biggest, but it is fundamentally different from Bitcoin. Ethereum is not just a currency, it's a platform. Developers can build applications on top of Ethereum, things like decentralized finance apps, digital collectibles, and smart contracts, which are basically self-executing agreements written in code that run automatically when certain conditions are met. Stablecoins are a completely different category. These are cryptocurrencies designed to always be worth exactly $1. And the most popular ones are called USDC and USDT. Altcoins is the catch-all term for everything else. I mean, thousands of other cryptocurrencies with different purposes, different technologies, and wildly different levels of legitimacy. Some are serious projects with real use cases, but many of them are not. And this is where most of the risk in crypto lives. So how do you actually buy and store crypto? The easiest way for most people is through a crypto exchange. An exchange is basically a marketplace where you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies using regular money. You create an account, verify your identity, connect a bank account or a debit card, and buy whatever crypto you want. Now, keep in mind, once you buy crypto, it lives in a wallet. A wallet is not like a physical wallet. It is a software or sometimes a physical device that stores your private key and lets you send and receive crypto. Now, there are two main types of wallets worth knowing about. A hot wallet is connected to the internet. It is usually an app on your phone or computer. It's convenient and easy to use, but it's also more vulnerable to hacking because it's always online. A cold wallet is not connected to the internet, so it's usually a small physical device similar to like a USB drive that stores your private key completely offline. It's much harder to hack because there's nothing to connect to. Most serious crypto investors use cold wallets for large amounts they plan to hold long term. Why do crypto prices go up and down so much? This is a question everyone has, and the honest answer is that crypto is still a relatively young and speculative asset class. The price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is driven by supply and demand. When more people want to buy than sell, that price goes up. When more people want to sell than buy, the price goes down. But unlike stocks, which are backed by real companies with real revenues and profits, most cryptocurrencies don't have traditional fundamentals to anchor their value. That makes them much more sensitive to sentiment, to news, to what influential people say on social media, to regulatory announcements, to macroeconomic conditions, for example, like interest rates. Crypto is still a relatively small asset class compared to traditional finance, which is part of why it can move so dramatically in both directions. So one thing worth doing, if you want to start exploring crypto without jumping in with a lot of money, Coinbase is one of the most beginner-friendly places to start. It has a clean interface, it's easy to set up, and you can buy as little as a few dollars worth of any major cryptocurrency to get a feel for how it works. The link is in the description below. Just so you know, that is an affiliate link, which means we earn a small commission if you sign up through it at no extra cost to you. And that's honestly what keeps this channel going and lets us keep making free content like this. So with that said, drop a comment down below and let me know, what do you want to learn about next? So if this video helped you out, hit that like button and subscribe. We post new videos every week here on Your Money Friend, covering investing, money, and everything in between in a way that actually makes sense. That's it from me, Alex, aka Your Money Friend. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.